Здравствуйте! Hello and welcome to my Russian language learning series. This is the 13th lesson of the series. In Russian language, like in most of the languages, every noun has a gender, masculine, feminine or neuter. This is very important because it affects endings, adjectives and grammar. The objective of this video is to help you identify what gender the given noun might have and to introduce you to some new words. The objective is not to rotely memorize the words. So let us start without any delay. Repeat the words after me. Okay, so before we start, let me make it clear that it's okay if you are unable to remember the words. That's not the main motive of this lesson anyways, as I said. The main motive is to learn to identify the gender of the noun. So let's start with masculine nouns first. The general rule of thumb is that most nouns ending in a consonant are masculine. So let's start with some examples. The first word that we have is stol. Stol means table in Russian language. Stol. La is a consonant and therefore stol is a masculine noun. Stol. We next have brat. Brat. Ta is a consonant as well and therefore brat is a masculine noun. Brat means brother. Brat. Gorod. Gorod means city and the is a consonant and therefore Gorod is a masculine noun. Gorod. We next have telephone. Telephone. Telephone is obviously phone or telephone in English word. It's the Russian word for telephone. Telephone. It's a masculine noun as well because na is a consonant. Telephone. The next word that we have is passport. Passport. Passport is a masculine noun and passport means passport because ta is a consonant, therefore passport is a masculine noun. We next have computer. Computer. Ra is a consonant as well and therefore computer is a masculine noun. Computer. Next word we have is journal. Journal means magazine in Russian language. La, as I said, is a consonant and therefore journal. Journal is a masculine noun. Next we have chai. E kratkaya is a consonant, it's not a vowel, therefore chai is a masculine noun. Chai means tea in Russian language. So keep it in mind, most words ending in a consonant are masculine. Therefore, if you find a word which ends with the consonant, most probably its gender would be masculine. Okay, so let us move on to feminine nouns now. The rule of thumb here is that most nouns ending with a or ya are feminine. So let us look at some examples now. The first word that we have is kniga. Kniga means book in Russian language. It ends with a and therefore it's a feminine noun. Kniga. We next have sestra. Sestra. Sestra means sister. It ends with a and therefore it's a feminine noun. Sestra. We next have gazeta. Gazeta means newspaper in Russian language. It also ends with a and therefore it's a feminine noun. Gazeta. We next have ruchka. Ruchka means pen and it's also a feminine noun. We next have Anna. Anna is a name. Anna is a Russian name. It ends with a and therefore it's a feminine Russian name. Anna. We next have Natalia. Natalia is also a name. It ends with ya and therefore it's a feminine noun. Natalia. We next have Nedelia. Nedelia. Nedelia means week in Russian language. Nedelia. It ends with ya and therefore it's a feminine noun. Nedelia. Nedelia. We next have Historia. Historia has two meanings in Russian. It's either history or story. Historia. Historia ends with ya and therefore it's also a feminine noun. Historia. So if you see a noun which ends with a or ya, most probably it's a feminine noun. And do you remember the rule for masculine noun? If the noun ends with consonant, it's most likely a masculine noun. Now let us look at neuter nouns. The rule of thumb here is that if a noun ends with o or ye, it's most probably a neuter noun. Let's look at some examples. The first word that we have is okno. Okno means window in Russian language. It ends with o and therefore it's a neuter noun. We next have more. More. It means sea. Since it ends with ye, it's a neuter noun. We next have pismo. Pismo means letter in Russian language. It's also a neuter noun. We next have mlako. Mlako means milk. It's also a neuter noun. We next have slova. Slova means word in Russian language As you can see, in writing it ends with O, but in pronunciation we say slova. But still, because in writing it ends with O, it's a neuter noun. We next have zdanie. Zdanie, it ends with ye. Zdanie, it means building in Russian language and it's a neuter noun. Next we have kino. Kino means cinema. It's also a neuter noun. We next have yablaka. Yablaka means apple in Russian language and it's also a neuter noun. So as you remember, if a word ends with O or ye, it's a neuter noun. So up till now we have seen three of them, masculine, feminine and neuter. Let us revise them quickly. If a word ends with consonant, it's most likely a masculine noun. If it ends with a or ya, it's most likely a feminine noun. And if it ends with o or ye, it's most likely a neuter noun. But there are always some exceptions to these rules. Some nouns end in a soft sign, the mekh ki snag. These can be masculine or feminine. You must memorize them. Don't worry, they will come with practice. As I said, the main objective of this video is not to totally memorize the words, but to help you identify the gender of the noun. And there are always some exceptions to the common rules, which are important to mention. So let us look at some masculine examples. The first word that we have is slover. Slover. It means dictionary in Russian language. It ends with mekh ki snag and it's a masculine noun. Slover. We next have calendar. It means calendar in Russian language. Calendar. It is also a masculine noun. We next have din. Din, it means day in Russian language and it's also a masculine noun. Now let us look at some feminine examples. The first word that we have is dver. Dver, it means door in Russian language and it's a feminine noun. We next have noch. It means night and it's a feminine noun. We next have tetrad. Tetrad, it means notebook in Russian language. Tetrad, and it's a feminine noun. Okay, so now let us practice. I will give you a word and you identify whether it's a masculine, feminine or neuter noun. So let us start. The first word that we have is dom. Dom means house in Russian language. It ends with a consonant ma and you would be correct to guess it's a masculine noun. We next have mashina. Mashina. Mashina means car. It ends with a and it's a feminine noun. We next have solste. 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 It means sun in Russian language. It ends with ye and it's a neuter noun. We next have mat. Mat. Mat means mother in Russian language. It is a feminine noun. It ends with mekh ki snag. It's a feminine noun. We next have uchitil. Uchitil. It means teacher in Russian language. Uchitil. It ends with mekh ki snag. So you would be confused whether it's masculine or feminine. It's a masculine noun. You have to remember this. It's an exception. Uchitil. It's a masculine noun. We next have pismo. Pismo means letter in Russian language. We have already seen this word. It's a neuter noun because it ends with O. We next have okno. It means window. We've already seen this. It's a neuter noun. Next we have kniga. Kniga means book. And it ends with a and it's a feminine noun. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you are now clear with the three genders of Russian nouns and you would most probably guess the gender of the noun correctly. So thank you for watching this video again. Spasiba, do svidaniya.